When we built the woodshed, which you must already know, we freed up a space that was the old woodshed. The truth is, that room was built with very little care. I'm not an expert in construction, but you don't need much knowledge to realize that, right? Something good, however, is that this space is attached to a very solid structure. So the light partition walls are quite stable. Now that this space is free, I'm setting up a workshop. I had to leave the Perky workshop several months ago, so I haven't had a stable place to work for quite a while, and I'm pretty tired of that. So I'm happy about the idea of spending more time here in the South and being able to set up a more professional little workshop for myself. The idea is that this will be our future set for the videos, at least for a while, God willing. I think it's already much more presentable, in my opinion. Clearly, we're not starting from an ideal starting point, but it's what we have, and I'm sure we'll make it really nice little by little. I'm going to show you a bit of what I've done and how much I've spent so far. The floor was a very basic concrete slab that I had to level with floor mortar, which turned out to be relatively easy. After that, I put down polyethylene, which is this black plastic, and on top of that, a 3mm foam that's specifically used for this floating floor I chose. Do you like the color? I do. If you don't like it, lie to me. It's very easy to install, and there are lots of videos on YouTube showing how to do it, so I don't think it was worth making one from my channel. At the end of the video, I'll give you all the prices and expenses so far, so stay until the end of the video. On the ceiling, I installed a 9mm grooved plywood and 8 LED panels, each 136 watts. The lighting is really good. I'm super happy with it. I downloaded an app for my phone that measures lux, which is like the amount of light that reaches a surface. Honestly, I have more than enough for that. It's perfect for video recording and working with good lighting. In the corners, which are the darkest areas, we have 500 to 600 lux, and in the center of the workshop, 1,500, which is literally what's recommended for an operating room. I installed two 2x8 beams here because the ceiling was about to collapse. Fortunately, it's a false ceiling and doesn't bear any loads. Later, we're going to cover all those joints you see between the grooved plywood panels with some nice wood like oak, to give the ceiling a nice finish so it looks good. As I was saying, I'm very aware that this construction isn't the best, but it's what I have to start with. I can't redo it completely since I don't have the money or the time. The partitions are 2x3 with these braces that aren't properly installed, and the pine plates, which were untreated, rotted, so I had to replace them all with treated pine. They're anchored to the slab, right? The plates, the ones in contact with the concrete, always have to be treated, impregnated, and you should try. Not just try, but actually avoid letting the wood touch the cement because the cement transfers moisture to the wood and it rots. I'm going to make the doors again though, which will at least be good content for the channel. The carpenter responsible for this didn't even bother to make lintels for the doors, or at least jambs. I'll also take the opportunity to make them taller, so we're going to raise them a couple of centimeters. And I'll also make them so that they open outward, right? It's always recommended that entrance doors open outward in case of a fire. That's super important, so you can escape and the exit doesn't get blocked. We're going to insulate with mineral wool, and inside I think I'll put plywood. Honestly, I'm not too worried about the cold. I'm really used to working outdoors, and it's not an issue for me. I'm mainly concerned about the noise, but the mineral wool will help. The workshop will be fairly cold, but at least it'll be well ventilated like a shed. The workshop measures 5 meters 70 in length and 3 meters 20 in width. So how much have I spent so far? The dollar is almost 1,000 Chilean pesos, so it's easy to convert if you live outside of Chile. The roll of polyethylene cost me 17,000 pesos, or $17. The foam, 18,000 pesos. The floating floor cost a total of 160,000 pesos. I used 7 grooved plywood boards and I spent 137,830 pesos on that. To level the concrete slab, I used 2 bags of mortar and it cost 8,000 pesos. The 8 LED panels cost me 137,000 pesos, plus 30,000 pesos for 1.5mm cables to install the LED panels. In total, we've spent 506,000 pesos, or about $500. If I wanted to use 18mm plywood to cover the interior, it would cost me 400,000 pesos, which is not a small amount. I'm still thinking about what I'll use to cover the interior, so if you have any ideas, you can share them with me in the comments. The next step will be to install outlets and insulate with mineral wool. I hope you'll join me on this new adventure and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. This workshop is smaller than the previous one, but the setting is much nicer, don't you think? Sending you a hug and see you soon in the next video. Bye-bye. Subtitle.